Hi everyone, Katie here from Flow Volleyball. We have a very exciting guest on this interview. We're talking three-time state champion from Punahou High School, went to USC where he earned his bachelor's and master's, and then played professionally overseas before heading back to the States to compete on the beach with brother Riley McKibbins. And just last week earned his first AVP title in San Francisco with partner Ty Loomis. Introducing one half of the Bearded Bros, Madison McKibben. Thanks for joining us.
How's it going, everyone? Nice to be here.
Yes. So, You're in Hermosa Beach right now.
Yes.
Yep. How's it going?
It's great. I'm about 100 yards from the qualifier right now at a Starbucks. The weather could not be better. I got nothing to complain about.
Yep. So let's talk about, you were in the beginning of the season in the qualifier rounds, and then just won in San Francisco. Right now, you are on fire. Something is clicking in your game. How would you describe the improvements this season?
It's hard to pinpoint. You know, it's been quite a roller coaster of a season with, Riley injuring himself. And then I got the opportunity to play with Reed Pretty, which was invaluable. And then things went separate ways. And then teaming up with Ty Loomis. And, right before San Francisco, we were in last place. We got a 13th. So it's been up and down, but, partnering with Ty was a surreal experience because I always grew up watching him. And one thing that he did really well is he was able to, lead us. And I think in beach volleyball, it's always important to have that. And not to say that I didn't have that with other partners, but Ty really understood me well as a player. And, in that finals, I talked about it a little bit, but he really emphasized breathing, which we all hear about in sports, but I really took it to heart. And if I had to say one thing that made the difference, I ended up breathing a lot in those semis and finals, and that was the biggest difference.
Yeah, and can you explain how that partnership with Ty came about?
Well, partner switching is just a normal thing in beach volleyball, but it's nothing that I'm too accustomed to because I'm used to playing with my brother. But, the Reed, when I started playing with him, he knew that I was going to eventually go back with my brother. And so, he needed to weigh out his options and see if there's other guys to partner with. And so it just kind of so happened that there was a few different partner swaps, and me and Ty ended up being together. When my brother went down, he was definitely one of the top guys that I wanted to ask to play with. And, luckily, thank goodness it ended up working out in a time where I needed a partner more than ever.
Mm-hmm. And was there a point at San Francisco where you realized you and Ty could win this whole thing?
It came after the quarterfinals. That was the furthest I'd ever made it to my first Sunday. And I said this before, but in Sunday morning, I was trying to figure out what sort of mentality I wanted to go into this semis with, because, I'm used to playing loose and carefree, and that's when I play my best, but it was such a golden opportunity that I didn't want to waste it. So I wasn't sure if to go into the mentality like, I really want to win and, possibly put that pressure on myself. But I really just wanted to focus on, the process more than the outcome, because it was an awesome opportunity to, be there on Sunday. So I think that's the thing that made the difference for me.
Mm-hmm. What was your reaction, or what emotions did you experience when you made it to the finals?
When I made it to the finals, I was in awe. We teamed up. We faced off against Ratledge and Zahn, and to be honest, it wasn't their best match, and so I was just so overjoyed. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to make it to a finals, in this part of my career, just because there's so many phenomenal teams, and I still have a ways to grow as a player. But, just that Sunday in San Francisco, something clicked.
Mm-hmm. What do you think this victory did for you now, your confidence in your career?
Confidence-wise, it's given me a complete different outlook and direction of how I approach games. I definitely feel a lot more confident in my play, which is huge, because just being my third season, I said I have a lot of room to grow, but I think I made some huge strides, especially playing in that sort of atmosphere when the stakes are so high, and to perform well was just meant so much to me.
And you guys had lost to Stafford and Billy earlier in the tournament. What was your game plan when you found out you were going to play them in the final?
Well, I mean, we saw Stafford get injured in the semis, and you never want to see, anyone get hurt. But we knew he wasn't up to 100%, and you could tell. He's one of the most physical players out there on the court when it comes to siding out, and you could tell he didn't have his super sharp angle that he usually hits. He had his cross body, and so looking back on it, we should have taken more line. But I thought he did a good job and how he dealt with his injury. But it wasn't the same Stafford as we had played in the quarters or that one in Seattle. It was a different team, and we took advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. And we've mentioned you played a lot with your brother Riley. What was his reaction when you won?
I mean, whoever's listening, if you did not have the opportunity to see his Instagram story, he was probably more happy than I was. I think he started dancing in one video. He celebrated in another. But he's been my biggest supporter this entire time from the start of his injury, and that means a lot because we got into this together, and for me to have my own success and to him to be supportive of it means so much.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about Riley, how is he doing in dealing with his injury?
He's good. He got his cast off about 2 weeks ago. He's doing some rehab on his hand because his wrist is a little bit weak from his boxer's fracture. But, he's coming along great. And thank goodness it's his left hand. So really the only skill that it affects him is setting me, which he never put much emphasis into either because he goes, doesn't matter, they're always going to serve me. So he can still dig and he can still hit. So he'll come back quick.
Yep. Do you have a time frame when we think we'll see him back in action?
We have a huge break in between Hermosa and Manhattan, which is on August 20th. So that's, I think, and in his mind too, it's a good enough time frame for him to be able to come back and get back to where he was at the start of Huntington.
Mm-hmm. And so how are you and Ty feeling at this point, ready for this weekend in Hermosa Beach?
We feel good. Like I said, we were able to break through to just another level of play on that Sunday in San Francisco. So I feel good going into this weekend. And, Ty is such a good vibe volleyball player that it's so easy to play with him, to get along with him, to vibe with him on the court. So I'm happy to be running it back with Ty for Hermosa. And, I feel good going into this weekend.
Good, yeah. And last but not least, is probably the most important question. Are we going to see this beard the rest of your career?
Huh. Who knows? It's definitely people know me and my brother for our beards now at this point. It wasn't planned. It wasn't strategic. We played overseas in Greece and just decided to grow them. So there was no planning of the sorts, but it's played out well for us, and my girlfriend likes it, which is probably the most important thing. Definitely. And my mom likes it too. So, why? Why not?
Yep, the women in your life are happy. Keep it that way. All right. Thank you, Madison, for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Good luck, guys.